Just a little bit of bookkeeping. We will be recording this webinar. The presentation and the recording will be available on our website sometime in the next 24 hours or so. For those of you who are going to ask some questions today, whether it be throughout the presentation via the text interface or when we get to the Q&A period towards the end of the presentation this afternoon, there is a prize, the Yealink CP860. For those of you who don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you shortly. For those of you that do, I'm sure you'll be saving up your best questions to try and win it. As I said, so questions throughout the presentation, please send them via the text interface available there. And at the end, I'll open up the floor to audio questions for those who want to wait to ask until then. Okay, guys, so everybody with that, let's hop into the presentation and move through this as quickly as we can. So as I said, today we're talking about the latest product releases. We're going to cover everything from their phones to their new conference phone and their video conferencing product at a fairly high level. So my name's Craig Harrison. I'm a business development manager here at Alloy in Australia, the parent company for Alloy CP in the US, and I'll take you through this morning, quick, short, sharp and sweet. So what's new with Yealink? We're going to look at the new T2 series phones. That product set has been around now since around about 2007, 2008, though there's been additions to it. In the last 6 months or so, we've seen some really interesting updates to that range, and I'll cover them off and the differences between the new products and the previous ones. We're going to have a look at the CP860 IP conferencing phone. Yealink has been promising this for a while. We've had a chance to have a good play with it, tested on a couple of different platforms, and we're pretty happy with the results. Following that, I'm going to give you the 10,000-foot view of the VCS video conferencing system from Yealink. They're fairly late to the party with a video conferencing product, but from what we've seen of it and the testing we've done here and with some of our international customers, it looks like a pretty sweet, high-quality product. So, and finally, we're going to talk about Microsoft Link support. Yealink has been debating for a while whether they're going to get into the Microsoft Link area or Skype Pro, as I think it's known now. And they've brought out the first set of firmware to support that, and it's fully supported by Microsoft, of course, certified by Microsoft. And we'll have a quick look at that and a quick discussion about where that's going over the upcoming months. So what's new with Yealink? For those of you who weren't aware, Yealink are now ranked #2 in the world for IP handset sales, overtaking Cisco and now second only to Polycom. In Australia and around the world, they've established relationships with some of the world's biggest telecommunications and service provider companies, and this is where they've seen the rapid growth in their handset sales. And that all of you have played in that marketplace, you're well aware that reliability and performance and hardware reliability are the keys to being successful here. In the service provider market, you can't afford to be doing truck rolls and product replacements for faulty gear, and it's a recognition of the Yealink reliability and quality that these sort of companies are adopting their product. 2 Yealink phones are now Microsoft qualified for use with Skype for Business, or for those who have been around a bit longer, recognize it as Microsoft Link, and I'll talk about that as we go through. And as I said, Yealink are now in the video conferencing market. So the SIP T21 and SIP T21P, the E2 version. So this is exactly the same as the original T21 or T21P with the added support for an LCD backlight. Of course, it's got the Yealink high definition voice, PoE support on the T21P version, 2 SIP accounts, headset support and wall mountable. So exactly the same as the original T21, but now the E2 version has the support for the LCD backlight. Nothing too exciting there, no big differences. If you need the LCD backlight, and lots of people obviously did, it's now available on the E2. SIP T23G. So this is the first of the T2 phones that supported a gigabit switch port in the back, and 2 switch ports obviously. So again, T23G, Yealink high definition voice, dual port gigabit Ethernet. And I said the first of the T2s to support gigabit. PoE support, of course, the 132 by 64 high quality PIX LCD that we're familiar with from Yealink, 3 SIP accounts, headset support, wall mountable, and 3 paperless DSS keys. So that's something new that we're seeing in the later T2 phones, is the use of paperless Sorry guys, apparently we've got a bit of an audio problem there. Hopefully that's a bit better for you. So moving right on, as I said, the SIP T23G, 3 SIP accounts and the paperless DSS keys. The paperless DSS keys are something new in the T2 range now. We're all familiar with it from the T4 series, and you can hopefully make out in that graphic just what that looks like, the programmable 3 keys there on the LCD display. So having a look at them side by side, we've got the SIP T23G will eventually replace the SIP T22P. We'll see they have the same graphic screen. We see the dual color DSS keys as compared to the single color ones now. Gigabit support rather than 10100, 3 SIP accounts on both of them, but the paperless DSS key capability on that LCD display as well. So key features there, guys: change the multicolour DSS keys and the gigabit support on the T23G. SIP T27P. So again, as we'd expect, Yealink high def voice, PoE support. We have the 240 by 120 pixel LCD screen. We have the support for 6 SIP accounts, headset and EHS support. So this will support the wireless headsets from various people such as Plantronics, Sennheiser and some others. Different stand to what we're used to with the T2 series. So the stand for this product is similar to what we have on the T4 phones, so 2 positions. And again, wall mount with an optional wall mounting bracket and paperless DSS keys. So let's just have a look at what this compares to and what it's replacing. SIP T27P is designed to replace the SIP T26P. So, first of all, the LCD is enlarged and enhanced. Next of all, the memory keys. On the T26, you'd all remember we had the paper-based keys down the right-hand side of the phone and 10 memory keys there. Now, on the T27, we have 8 keys up beside the LCD panel, of which we can program 20. We can program 7 of these keys with a function and use the 8th key as a paging key to give us access to 3 screens of 7 programmable keys for a total of 21 programmable memory keys on the T27. So paperless, dual color DSS keys. So again, we've gone to paperless, such as we've seen in the T4 series in the past, and by going paperless, it gives us access to a larger number of keys. We also see the big difference here is T27 supports 6 SIP accounts to the previously 3 SIP accounts on the T26. So T26P will be going end of life, and we're recommending that people start to move towards the T27P as it's supported on your whichever PBX platform you're using. SIP T29G, so a couple of changes here for the T2 family. As you can see from the graphic up on the screen, we've got a color screen there. That's the first color screen in the T2 series. Let me just go quickly through the features. Of course, Yealink high definition voice, the high quality voice that we've come to know and love on the Yealink phones. Dual port gigabit, as you can tell by the G in the part number. PoE support, large 48 by 272 pixel color LCD, big, pretty, very clear screen. USB port for Bluetooth headset via the BT40 Bluetooth dongle. So this is the same product we've seen available on the T46 and T48. So for adding Bluetooth headset support, add a BT40 dongle and away we go. This guy has 16 SIP accounts. Now, you know, all of us out there are well aware that we very rarely have a requirement for 16 SIP accounts, but it's a great tender tick box feature, and you know, we see in tender requirements and bids for telephony solutions, how many SIP accounts can you support? Well, now with Yealink you can say we do 16 too. Headset and EHS support, so wired headset or via the EHS 36 dongle, we have the ability to support full control, answer and hang up from wireless headsets such as those from Plantronics, Sennheiser and Jabra. Again, the T4 style of stand on the back of this guy, supporting 2 different angles. Again, wall mountable via the optional wall mount stand, and again, the paperless DSS keys. So again, you can see, hopefully in that graphic, you can make out the DSS labels on the LCD screen. Again, moving away from buttons down the side with the paper labels. Let's have a look at what this guy replaces. So the SIP T29G replaces the SIP T28P. So we see a larger, higher quality, higher definition color LCD. We see the memory keys again via 3 pages of 9. So that 10 buttons with 1 paging button allows us 3 pages of 9 buttons of memory keys for a total of 27 versus the T28 that had the 10 paper-based keys down the side. 16 SIP accounts up from 6 on the old SIP T28P, and gigabit support rather than just fast Ethernet. So as you can see, the SIP T29 is going to be very, very highly sought after as a desktop phone. So the CP860. As I said, we've been waiting for this product for a while. Yealink has been talking about it for 18 months towards 2 years now. So the CP860 IP conference phone. In the image here, you can see it in conjunction with the expansion pack, which is a couple of extra microphones and speakers for larger conference environments. So let's just go through some of the features. So the base unit, the CP860, Yealink high-def voice, of course, full duplex, which is, you know, obviously what you need in a speaker phone, 10 feet and 360-degree voice pickup from the base unit. The optional expansion microphone, the CP-E80, is the 2 units you see there on the side. When you purchase that, that product, you receive 2 of those, and those again are for expanding that 10-foot pickup area to larger conference rooms and conference room tables. Um, high capability 320 millisecond echo cancellation on this guy. It works very, very well. One of the nice features on this guy is you can connect it into a mobile phone or a PC for doing conference calls in that environment. So if you're using Skype or a product like that for a conference call, you can hook this unit into your PC. If you're making a call on your phone and want to get some people in the office involved, plug it into one of these guys and away you go. 5-way conferencing support out of the phone itself before you have to start interacting via the PBX conferencing capabilities. USB call recording, so let's plug a USB memory stick into this guy to do call recording. PoE support, 192 by 64 pixel LCD panel that tells you everything you need to know, and just a single SIP account. So, as I said, high quality IP conference phone. Now, this is a new video conferencing platform, and I'm not sure how much you guys know about this or how much you've heard about it, but let me run through from a 10,000-foot view, and you'll see on our website or up and coming more information about this product in the coming weeks. So Yealink has brought out the VC400, and this is their video conferencing platform. At the moment, it's 4-site 1080p full high-def MCU. So this will support concurrently 4 sites at 1080p video conferencing. Additional audio call can be added into that. The package includes an 18x optical zoom, pan, tilt, zoom camera. So we've been really impressed with the quality of this guy. Actually, it competes incredibly well with the market leaders in this area, and you know, to see it is to love it, in all honesty. Microphone array, 10-foot 360-degree voice pickup. Does that sound familiar? For those of you who weren't sure, that is indeed, as in the image, the CP860. So the conference phone is what they're deploying with their video conferencing for that Yealink high-quality audio capabilities. H.264 video compression and transmission, so we all know how well that works. It's DVD quality, basically. Yealink Intelligent Firewall Traversal. So this is just a very clever way of giving us to be able to hook up with remote sites in a successful video conference without having to go through the pain of making firewall changes at either end. Video recording and playback, dual display and focus features. So we have a dual display for content sharing and document sharing, and plus the ability to decide who we're going to see as the focus of our conference. High compatibility and interoperability. Okay, so this guy's SIP and H.323 support. It will talk with virtually any other system out there in the marketplace. So SIP-to-SIP communication. Obviously, this precludes things like Skype and Google Hangouts and those sort of environments, but any SIP-based video conferencing platform, including the likes of Polycom, Cisco, Lifesize, Ava, etc., will talk and interoperate with the Yealink platform. And one of the things that our tech team just loved, because they know it means they won't get a lot in the way of phone calls, is the user-friendly web interface for setting this up and configuring and driving it. You know, we've liked for a long time the way Yealink handles the user interfaces on their phones compared to other vendors out there, and they haven't let themselves down here either. The VC400 has got to be one of the easiest to configure and set up video conferencing platforms I've ever had my hands on, and I've played with a few of them over the years. So there you go, that's the VC400. for the smaller endpoints, so the non-MCU part of the solution, so you use the VC400 as the control point. If you want to keep your costs down and deploy some lower cost rooms, we have the VC120. Now basically, these have, as I said, they're lower cost, but the same audio and visual quality that you get with the VC400. So 18 times optical zoom, same microphone array via the CP860, same H.264 support, firewall traversal, bandwidth dynamic adaptive adjustment. So video conferencing in this day and age in an IP environment all needs to support some sort of dynamic adaptive video streaming, and I haven't mentioned that with the 400, but it's all there. Video recording and playback, again, dual displays and focus feature. Everything we see in the VC400 is available on the VC120, except it doesn't have the MCU capabilities to be the central point in the conferencing environment. So VC400 as a master, VC120s as slaves, if you like, and up to 3 of those in addition to your VC400. So now Microsoft Link, Microsoft Skype professional support. Yealink has been debating whether to do this for 4 years or more now. They finally stepped up into the marketplace. The first phone that we're going to see, and one that we suspect will be around for a very long time, is the Skype for Business support on the T48G. So again, all the normal standard Yealink features like the HD voice. We see a new modern user interface on this, which is more in line with the Microsoft Skype for Business interface. Dual port gigabit Ethernet, as you know, the very large color touch screen. So this is a 7-inch touch screen for those who haven't used it before on the T48. PoE support, CTI interface for Link, high level of interoperability. We've had a couple of our Link customers have a play with this, and the feedback has been all positive. We've had this phone run through some testing with some of the biggest telcos in the world, and again, feedback is coming back all positive. Again, all the things you already knew about the T48, wall mountable, headset and EHS support. Of course, with that high quality graphics screen, we can view all the Link contacts directly on the phone, full instant messaging, PIN sign-in, and full presence support in that Microsoft Skype for Business or Microsoft Link environment. So, as I said, Yealink's finally come to the party for Microsoft, and it's available on the SIP T48G, and it's also available on the SIP T22P for the immediate future. We expect to see this roll down into other T2 phones, and looking at by the end of the year that we'll be having the Microsoft Skype for Business support across the whole T4 series. So again, on the SIP T22, all the features you know and love, but with now the Skype for Business support. So PIN sign-in and presence support, view the Link contacts on the phone, and again, this guy's wall mountable and with headset support, although no EHS support. So not much more to add to that, guys. You know, the T22 has been around for a long time. Key thing now is you can get that with software support for Skype for Business. So guys, the lucky draw prize, our product manager who's been online here with us, Scott Young, the Yealink product manager, is going to have a look at the questions asked throughout the webinar, both text-based and any audio questions that come up here in the next few minutes. And what he judges to be the best question, that person will be the winner of a CP860. And that's a thank you for you guys taking time out and attending the webinar today. So let's just move on to the Q&A section of the presentation this morning. And if any of you have got any questions, if you can please use the raise your hand icon there on the user interface, and I'll endeavour to open up the mic for you and let you ask your question. If you're feeling a bit shy, don't hesitate to ask the questions over the text-based interface still as well. Well, guys, it looks like we're doing a pretty fair job of covering the ground for you. One question that's popped up there, which is, I think is a great one, is why would Yealink bother putting the Link support or the Skype for Business support on the T22 rather than the T23G? And I think it's just a factor of how long it does take to get these products through the Microsoft certification and qualification programs. So this process would have started a significant time ago. We know the rest of the T4 phones are the next phones coming up. We expect them to be available around about the end of this calendar year. So, and then at which stage they'll go back and start looking at other T2 series phones. Okay, now we're starting to get some interesting questions in. Looks like...
Yeah, Craig, sorry to interrupt. You might want to actually start reading out some of these questions. There's a lot coming through, and I'm struggling to keep up with them on the question panel. Let's just start reading some of them out. And
yeah, that's easy, Scott. Let me go with this one and tell me if you know the answer to this. Can we use the video conference 120 in a point-to-point configuration?
Yes, you certainly can. So the VC400 obviously has a built-in 4-port MCU, so you can actually connect 3 additional sites into the VC400, that being a VC120, or it might be another third-party device. But you can also use the VC120 just as a point-to-point solution. So if you do have 2 VC120s, you can just make calls between those 2 devices.
Fantastic. That's a good one. I wasn't actually aware of that, so glad to hear it. Then we have...
Just quickly, sorry. Yes, Gary, without the VC400. So you don't need the VC400 at all if all you want to do is have a point-to-point solution with 2 VC120s.
Thanks, Scott. So moving on to the next questions. So someone's asked is whether or not Yealink have any current plans to increase the resolution for their phone screens, perhaps getting them closer to a modern mobile or cell phone. I think the answer to that one, Steve, is that we're not going to see any changes until we see new products released in the T4 series.
So just in regards to another question that was asked in regards to Link, now with the, so somebody asked about T48 and whether you can convert an existing T48 to Link. Yes, you can. So same with the T22 and T48. It's just a firmware upgrade. So we can actually give you the Link firmware for both of those phones. In addition to that, you'll also need a license to run it. Now that license can also be given to you from Alloy. We need to get it from Yealink, so it will take between 24 to 48 hours to get you that license file as well.
That sounds pretty straightforward. Just going back through questions earlier in the day, it looks like we've addressed most of them.
So there's another one here, Craig, for questions. A question in regards to the number of VoIP accounts that you have on a phone. Why would anybody need to have 16? Why would they need to have 6? So a question from Rick was, what's the point of this? Obviously, it's just to register multiple VoIP providers, and that's correct. And can also be used for redundancy as well. So you might have a registration to one VoIP account, and if that fails, you can use another one. It can also be used for if you're not using a PBX, it can also be used for one VoIP provider might have a lower rate for your internal calls in the US, and then another VoIP provider might have a better rate for international calls. So you could use multiple VoIP providers based on just the costs of the actual call rates. And just in regards to that same question, does Alloy have any back-end switches that would accommodate easy switching amongst ISPs and or multiple VoIP provider firewalls? Yeah, look, there's nothing that actually, in regards to VoIP accounts and failover to VoIP accounts, most of the time it's done on a PBX. The phone itself will register to the PBX with a single account, and then you'd have multiple VoIP accounts registered on the PBX, and that way you can do all your least cost routing and stuff via the PBX and not actually on the phone as well. Now, multiple VoIP provider firewalls, and nothing that Alloy does. We don't do any firewalls at all in regards to that. So there obviously is other vendors out there that do firewalls that do support multiple VoIP connectivities. One thing we do actually, which I always forget about in the US, is we do the pattern devices. So there is pattern also have session border routers or session border controllers that can be used to configure multiple VoIP providers, and you can use that for failover between those different VoIP providers as well. Another question here from Jim in regards to how does presence support work with the T48 and T22 on MS Link. So on the actual interface itself, when you I'm assuming you've used Link before or Skype Pro, so you'll have all your contacts there, and you can see all the presence for your contacts just on your Link client on your PC. So the same thing with the T48. You have your actual contacts on the screen, and the presence is just the change of the icon change. So the icon will turn red if they're on a phone, or yellow if they're away. And on the actual T22, since though it's not color, the actual physical icon changes. It's just a different icon for either available, away, busy, that type of thing. Okay, Richard, stocking for VC120 and VC400 in the US. We haven't had much of a response yet in the US for this product, so we don't have any in stock. But as soon as we do have more requests for the product, we'll definitely be able to get some in there. Now, there also is demo kits available for the video conferencing stuff from Yealink, which is almost a third of the cost of the product. So if you do want to buy a demo kit, they will be available ASAP in the US office. Well, a lot of questions here, Craig.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Keep going.
Okay, have you heard of plans for Yealink to increase the resolution of their screens? Not that I haven't heard of anything, so not at this stage at all.
Okay, how about, are there any future plans for adding video to the T48G for Skype for business?
Okay. Oh, okay. So not on the T48G, but Yealink are looking at releasing a new video phone towards the end of the year, which will be the SIP T49G. Now, just in regards to Link, so at this point, okay, they've only got two models, the T22 and the T48, which, you know, it's not a complete solution for Link. But early next year, they will have support for Link on the whole T4 series. Also, their CP860 will be Link certified as well. So that's all going to happen early next year.
Sorry, Scott, can you just clarify that? Did you say the VC, the video conferencing platform, or the
I know
will be
the
added
conference.
to that?
So the CP860 will be added to that. I know, Craig, we have spoken about the VC400, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'll have to come back to you guys on that. I'm not 100% sure that the VC400 will support
no commitment on that product yet.
Yeah, no, definitely not. But the CP860 definitely, and the rest of the T4 series.
Okay, there's a question here from David. He's asking any plans on the display branding being converted to JPEG or other more common formats, and I think the answer to that is currently no. There's been no hints or anything around the Yealink universe about making changes to that.
So T48 and T46s already support JPEG. Just none of the grayscale phones support JPEGs. I'm not 100% sure on the T29G, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure if that's JPEG or not, but T48G and T46G definitely JPEG support now.
Fantastic. Any word? Have you heard anything about any talk of a color version of the EXP40?
No, not at this stage.
Okay, give me a moment here, Scott, and I'll get another couple for you. Anthony's just pointed out multi-user workstations, another good reason for multiple accounts on the phone, so he makes a very good point there.
Yep, definitely.
So do we have any feedback from the tech teams on the reliability of the T48 touchscreen versus physical buttons on the other T4 series phones?
Well, the return rate or failure rate for T48G is the same as all the other Yealink phones, which is extremely low, less than 0.5% failure rate. So no issues that I know about.
Nothing to set them apart.
Sorry?
So nothing to set them apart one way or the other?
Yeah, no, definitely not, no. Another question here about paperless DSS keys and having BLF keys configured on different pages. You can't actually see the status of the BLF because it's on a separate page. Yeah, unfortunately there's not much you can do about that. I suppose the reason you want to see if somebody's on a call or able is because you want to call them. So you normally scroll across to the person that you want to call and go, oh, hang on, they're not available, so I won't call them. So yeah, no plans to add a notification. The notification, you know, that then your phone will be beeping or flashing at you all the time, and you still don't really know exactly which person or which one of your BLF keys is either not available. So I'm not sure if that would really work.
Yeah, no, it just seems to be something they've overlooked at the moment, and it's been pointed out to them a couple of times. I don't know if we're going to see a quick rectification of that or not. Again, another good comment question here from David. He's asked if there's any talk of a portable conference phone, as this was an issue that both he and a number of other resellers raised with Yealink. All I can say to that, Dave, is they continue to talk about it, but we're not seeing any commitment or anything coming forward. Although what one of our more industrious resellers is doing is pairing up our USB-powered PoE media converters with the conference phone and carrying one around with him in his laptop that way. It's not the best solution for everybody, but it works for him. But yeah, no commitment from Yealink in any way, shape or form for a portable conference phone at this point in time.
Okay, another question here that we did miss was from Anthony. Are you guys considering Windows 10 based phones in the future for Link? Well, that's not that I'm aware of. Yealink have never really used any particular piece of software. All their software that they use is all proprietary software that they create. They don't actually use like Android or any other software for their phones. They actually create the software themselves, so I can't see them going in and using a piece of Windows software for their phones.
I think it is an interesting point though, and I know we're on a Yealink session today, but I think it is an interesting point that Grandstream, the Android product, does have support for the Link client.
Okay, that's another point from Owen in regards to the STOM Vision. So if there's a BLF key on one of the other pages that has changed status, the actual page or the change button actually flashes, which is, I didn't actually know that. We sell a lot of STOM in Australia. I actually didn't know that. So there you go. Okay, another question from Rick in regards to wireless. Anything new coming up in the wireless market? Better batteries for the W52P, or next generation wireless with a larger footprint, like Galaxy or LCD keyboard? Yeah, not at this point. I know there has been a fair bit of problems with the battery life for W52Ps. Yealink actually changed all their spec sheets from a 10-hour talk time down to about a 4-hour talk time with the batteries that they now supply. Look, I don't know if Yealink are looking to address that issue. Yeah, look, all I can do is find out from them. I don't have an actual answer for you now.
Good job, Scott. There's a lot of questions there, and yeah, you've done a great job getting through them all. I can't see any new ones coming in, and as I said that, Jim slips one over the line. So Jim's asked the question, where does the VC... Yes, thanks, Scott.
Sorry. Okay, so in regards to recording on the VC400 and the VC120, it's actually done by USB. So what you can do is just when you're on a video conference, you simply plug in a USB stick into the system, and you can record directly onto the USB stick. Unplug the USB stick, take it away, plug it into your PC, and then you got your recording right there and then. Another question from Anthony. Any plans for a soft phone? Not at this stage that I know about. There are lots of soft phones out there on the market. I'm not sure if Yealink are going to look at doing one for themselves.
I'd suggest not unless they can attach a really good price ticket to it.
Are you assuming they have to be free? most other soft phones out there are free to a particular point. So I wouldn't think they'd want to be charging for it at all if they did go down that path.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're going to just sit here for another couple of minutes, but we're about wrapped up. An email will go out today with the announcing who is the winner of the CP860, and we'll get that shipped as soon as practicable. So just quickly, as I said, we'll hang around for another couple of minutes for any last-minute questions and answers, but thank you all for your time. It's obvious from the number of questions and things that you got a fair bit out of that, so hopefully it was useful, and we'll look forward to catching up with you guys at the next opportunity. Thank you again.